claims against Universal are no more than Drake's attempt to save face for his unsuccessful rap battle with Lamar. Universal went savage on this response. What happens with this case could completely gut creative expression. Literal fact. Oh man, this is where stuff can come back to kind of bite you in the butt. I promise, this is just heating up. Hey fam, welcome back. I'm top music attorney Miss Krystle. We have a response from Universal in regards to Drake's lawsuit, and it is pretty savage. So, recap. Drake files this lawsuit against Universal in the federal court in New York, claiming, amongst other things, defamation. And our big question when we covered the complaint was, you're suing Universal for defamation of the words that Kendrick said, pictures that Kendrick posted. Why aren't you suing Kendrick? Now, the general legal theory here is Kendrick did the bad thing, he's saying the bad stuff, doing the bad stuff, but you as the record label being Universal, you distributed it. You poured the gas on the fire. And then also Drake's alleging that viral sensation, Not Like Us, was boosted. It wasn't real. Universal is gassing it up through its secret sauce relationship with Spotify. So a lot of things happening here. But we do now have a response from Universal. And let me just start by saying I usually make a comment where I feel it's necessary about how something is drafted, right? I'm a litigation attorney. And so where I feel like an attorney has misstepped, not done a good job, or conversely, has really hit the nail on the head, I'm gonna point it out. And so the sense that I'm getting is that the person who drafted this on behalf of Universal has a better grasp of general music business and creative culture, and more specifically, diss track culture. Let's jump into it. Oh yeah, and then if you guys also like this type of content, the deep dives, lawyer reacts stuff, I got you covered. Don't forget to subscribe. All right, let's go. Opening line, quote, "Yeah, I want it all. That's why I strive for it. Diss me, you'll never hear a reply for it. Drake from Successful." Plaintiff, meaning Drake, one of the most successful recording artists of all time, lost a rap battle that he provoked and in which he willingly participated. Instead of accepting the loss like the unbothered rap artist he often claims to be, he has sued his own record label in a misguided attempt to salvage his wounds. Drake's complaint is utterly without merit and should be dismissed with prejudice. Meaning, court, you should just kick out the complaint altogether. There's no merit here, and Drake should not be allowed to refile. So guys, when we looked at the actual complaint, one of the things I suggested, I go, well, if we took this outside of diss track, rap battle culture, and we go, well, is it tongue-in-cheek? Are people really going to take these statements seriously? Because look, if you have someone saying something about you, it goes viral, and it ends up resulting in really bad things happening to. And in Drake's case and his complaint, he goes, I've had death threats. I literally had people show up on my property and open gunfire. And all of this is because of these things that were said in the Not Like Us song released by Kendrick Lamar, but importantly, distributed by Universal. So an analogy I made is, I'm like, what if this was a beef between Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter? And so we're like, well, does it make any difference if it's in a different genre of music? Does it make a difference if it's outside of the music business? I'm curious what you think. Drop a comment down below. But this was a rap battle, so in spring of 2024, two of the most popular recording artists, Kendrick Lamar and Drake, engaged in a high-profile rap battle over the course of approximately 2 months. They exchanged increasingly vitriolic and incendiary diss tracks, sometimes responding within hours of each other. Wasn't that Kendrick? Drake encouraged the feud. For example, when he felt Lamar was taking too long to respond, Drake released a second recording which he goaded Lamar to continue the public rap battle. So I think the argument being like, you brought this on yourself. Now, generally speaking, I don't really love that argument of like, you brought this on yourself kind of thing. If something really bad did actually happen, right, and someone broke the law, but there's a point. Lamar did just that, and collectively, Drake and Lamar released a total of 9 tracks, taking aim at each other. Multiple commentators declared Lamar to be the winner of the battle. Okay, great point, 9 tracks. So why this song? Like, obviously, this is the one that has, as I saw this morning, over 1 billion streams on Spotify. So obviously, this is the big boy. But as far as all the mean things that were said, if we're taking aim at Kendrick Lamar and what the record label for both Kendrick as well as Drake distributed, promoted, right? But let's keep going. Not Like Us. The main track and the feud is subject of the complaint. The recording and music video were released by Lamar through defendant Universal in May of 2024. Not Like Us was a massive commercial and artistic success. The record was the best-selling rap record of 2024. It won a Grammy, Record of the Year. Music video got Grammy Award, Best Music Video. All right, so AKA, it did really well. And before even this lawsuit, if you guys remember, Drake had filed this petition for like exploratory discovery, which you can do in New York. So he goes, I'm not going to file a complaint just yet, but actually I'm trying to get discovery. I'm trying to get evidence to support my claim that my label, Universal, juiced the numbers for Not Like Us. And, you know, kind of came off like, ooh, you seem a little salty. What's the point of that? And then also it sounds like you're just spilling the tea on Universal and its business practices of doing closed door deals with Spotify to juice the numbers for its artists. And the reason it kind of sounds like maybe you know that is because they did it for you. Speculating here. If you're needing legal help, feel free to reach out to Delgado Entertainment Law, which is my firm. We offer free case evaluations with our case managers. So just meaning you don't have to make any kind of commitment. We'll just see how we can help you. Feel free to call us. You can text, you can email. We look forward to hearing from you. Okay, so Not Like Us, just like all kinds of other feuding tracks and many notorious diss tracks throughout rap's history, consisted of hyperbolic insults. Drake has been pleased to use Universal's platform to promote tracks leveling similarly bad attacks, right? Mean attacks at Lamar. Drake has been pleased to use Universal's platform to promote other songs, right? Attacking Lamar, including most significantly that Lamar engaged in domestic abuse and that one of Lamar's business partners and managers is the true father of Lamar's son. But now, after losing the rap battle, Drake's claim that Not Like Us is defamatory, or he's claiming it's defamatory. It is not. While the complaint, well, and guys, let me just remember, even if something is defamatory, right, it makes you look real bad, the legal way to survive that is if it is the truth. If you say something and it is the truth, therefore it is not defamatory, because one of the elements of defamation is that someone says something that is false. Now, so far, what I'm kind of gauging here is that the attorney is not even necessarily going down that road just yet. And basically, the position that Universal is taking is to say this is rap culture, it's creative, diss culture, as the attorney put it, hyperbolic insults. And because it's a diss track, there should be this umbrella defense that the statements will not be taken seriously by the general public, and therefore they're not really causing harm, therefore they're not defamatory. Now here's the thing, there's always going to be exceptions, right? Could there possibly be an exception where it was a diss track and you said something that wasn't true and in fact did cause harm? Yes, of course. While the complaint focuses almost entirely on Not Like Us, it disregards the other Drake and Lamar diss tracks that surrounded Not Like Us. Okay, and that was my point. So I'm like, what about all the other songs? Why is this one being scrutinized for these exact phrases? Now, you could argue, well, it's because certain phrases, including the words A minor, are the ones that had their viral moments. They were the ones that were the most defamatory, allegedly. Assessed in context, as it must be, Not Like Us clearly conveys non-actionable opinion. Rhetorical, hyperbole, diss tracks are popular and celebrated art forms centered around outrageous insults. You know, here's the thing. We think about in movies, you see the trial lawyer, right, for like a criminal defense kind of thing. And he's like, yeah, my guy's a dirtbag and he's done all these terrible things, but he didn't do this thing. And so I feel like with some of this language of being like, clearly it's diss tracks, it's super outrageous, it's meant to be insulting. Like, yeah, we did it. But again, this umbrella of if it's a diss track, people aren't going to take it seriously. Basically, it's a celebrated art form with outrageous insults. They would be severely chilled, right? We're going to like do bad things to the creative arts if Drake's suit were permitted to proceed. Now here's the thing, what has been filed is a motion to dismiss. This is why Universal could have a problem. Well, actually, let me wait until the end so I can give you my 2 cents from my experience being a litigator, but let's keep going. Okay, Draco has always alleged that Not Like Us constitutes second-degree harassment, but sues under a criminal statute that does not prescribe speech and has no private right of action. Finally, Drake claims that Universal's promotion of Not Like Us violates New York business law, but fails to allege any of the elements for the claim. We'll come back to this piece. This one, though, notably, less than 3 years ago, Drake himself signed a public petition criticizing the trend of prosecutors using artists' creative expression against them by treating rap lyrics as literal fact. Oh man, this is where stuff can come back to kind of bite you in the butt. When it comes to creatives and, of course, rap artists talking about their life experiences, or maybe even embellishing life experiences, and prosecutors then using those lyrics against them in their criminal trials to prove character, you are the kind of person that says you rob people, you commit crimes, or in certain instances, allegations that the lyrics themselves are admissions of the crimes that the rappers are being accused of. And so there's been all kinds of creatives who have been, very outspoken about this and attempting to get some kind of legislation just to be like, look, government, we need you to stop prosecutors from being able to use lyrics against creatives because maybe they're not the truth. But either way, creatives speak from their personal experiences. So anyway, so they're saying, Drake has been very vocal about this and just being like, you know what, rap lyrics they're not really literal fact, and they certainly should not be used by prosecutors against artists. As Drake recognized when it comes to rap, quote, the final work is a product of the artist's vision and imagination, end quote. Drake was right then and is wrong now. The complaint's unjustified claims against Universal are no more than Drake's attempt to save face for his unsuccessful rap battle with Lamar. Woo! Universal is going for the throat on this one. The court should therefore grant Universal's motion to dismiss the complaint with prejudice. When you have an attorney who has an understanding generally of the music business, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to entertainment attorneys, litigators in this specific space, is that when they do not understand how things work, even when it comes to things of distributing your music through music platforms, understanding basic tech, there will be huge disconnects that happen with the legal pleadings. Now, I feel like in this one, this is a pretty decent argument. And I do think that it's fair to say when it comes to diss tracks of people insulting each other, that context matters in the analysis. Drake and Lamar's feud was not unique in the world of rap. Rap feuds where artists trade diss tracks insulting each other have existed pretty much since the beginning of rap. In the 1970s, a number of storied feuds have occurred throughout rap history, including the Roxanne Wars involving Roxanne Shante and the rap group UTFO, as well as feuds between Nas and Jay-Z, Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown, Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj. Drake is a prolific rap feud combatant, having traded diss tracks with a number of artists including Pusha T and Meek Mill. The public feud between Drake and Lamar traces back to October of 2023 regarding first-person shooter by Drake and J. Cole, in which J. Cole raps that he, Drake, and Lamar were the big three, i.e. the top three rappers in the industry. In response, Lamar appeared on the March 2024 track Like That with artists Future and Metro Boomin, in which he rejected the notion that Drake and J. Cole were equals, rapping, motherfuck the big three, N-word, it's just big me. Now here's the thing, in the response, the motion to dismiss, Universal goes through and picks apart all the back and forth that occurred, noting how insulting the phrases were, noting that, of course, Drake not only was fueling the diss tracks, but in fact, goading Kendrick Lamar to hurry up because he was taking too long to respond. Again, to the whole you brought this on yourself kind of argument. Drake also raps that Lamar physically abuses his fiance, stating, quote, when you put your hands on your girl, is it self-defense because she's bigger than you? And, quote, they hired a crisis management team to clean up the fact that you beat on your queen. The recording also makes various other allusions to violence, including gun violence. I'd be so curious if Drake had sued Kendrick Lamar. I would be really curious whether Kendrick would have filed a response countersuit, right? So he would have counterclaimed for similar defamation claims, right? Because we're just saying, under the law, if someone says something bad about you, can you sue them for defamation? Well, the answer is yes, of course you can sue them. It doesn't mean that you're going to win, and it doesn't mean that they don't have a defense of, well, it was the truth, right? And that's where it becomes really tricky, because now you have to go and prove what was the truth and what wasn't. So that means we're literally going line by line. So my point being, does Kendrick Lamar have claims against Drake for alleging that he abuses his fiance? Okay, so then you might be thinking, so is Universal going to win at this stage? Because here's the thing, if they can get this complaint kicked out with prejudice, it's over, right? So to succeed on a defamation claim, Drake must establish 1, a defamatory statement of and concerning the plaintiff was published to a third party, that there was fault and also falsity. So meaning there was a statement made, it was false, and it caused damages. I believe Drake when he says that this has been a horrible experience for him, that he has suffered damages in all kinds of ways. But what Universal is arguing is they say, well, it wasn't defamatory because it was opinion and rhetorical hyperbole. And hyperbole meaning extreme exaggeration. And so, again, this is what I said on the last go around of just being like, it's tough when you're analyzing this within the realm of the creative space, right? So you say in a song, someone calls out someone else, makes fun of them, might be mean, it might be even damaging to some degree. But if the general public believes that it is an extreme exaggeration, right? It's more of just amplifying long believed rumors, right? Which also is where this kind of swings the other way, because you go, well, it sounds like there might be some truth to what is being alleged. And so for the person of which these things are being said about, is it then resulting in them losing whatever, brand deals, public respect, business opportunities? And these are real things. We litigate defamation cases all the time. And these are really tough claims to be successful on, and it's because First Amendment, freedom of speech, and then you have to prove your damages, and you have to prove your damages originated from those statements, and then those statements also were false. All right, so my opinion, do I think that Universal is going to be successful at this stage with this argument? I don't think they're going to get the entire complaint kicked out, and the reason is because the judge has to look at this within the four corners of what's been filed and to say, can I make a decision just based on these arguments, or do I need to see more evidence? And in this case, I think a general blanket argument of like, Your Honor, these are just diss tracks, just throw out the entire complaint because Drake is gonna lose. I don't think you get there, because the court does need to look at every single one of the alleged defamatory statements, and that's not what this step is about. So I don't think they're gonna get the entire complaint kicked out, but remember, they had said, well, it looks like Drake's attorney had cited to a criminal statute, which if true, that's like a 101 kind of thing. If you're suing someone civilly, you don't get to bring criminal claims. That's for like the attorney general, right? The state. So if it was a criminal statute, then yep, I think that's getting kicked out. And if I remember correctly, that was the harassment in the second degree claim. So I think Universal might be able to narrow the scope of the complaint a little bit, but I don't think this is the end. I'm certainly going to continue covering this, so don't forget to subscribe. I'm Tom Music Attorney, and I'll see you on the next one.